when I first started taking birth control for PCOS, I went to a clinic for sexually active women and basically tried to pretend I was having sex to get the birth control. And they ended up giving it to me, and I ended up telling the doctor my, real story, and I would always end up crying because, obvious reasons, and she would always say that she thought I was depressed or anxious, and she wanted me to go to a wellness center that was associated with their clinic and, meet with a counselor lady there. So I eventually did it, and the counselor lady happened to have a best friend from college who had PCOS and said she cured herself of it naturally. So I had her contact this lady via email. I had never met her, but I had the forwarded email of her, and she basically said how she cured herself of it. And all she said was her diet. All she did was go on a strict diet, and she completely cured herself of PCOS. Of all her symptoms, she says she doesn't have the fuzziness, the hirsutism on her face. She doesn't have acne. She has her period. She has since had children, and all she did was follow a lifestyle change, kind of closely related to like the glycemic index diet, where basically if you have PCOS, whether you want to believe it or not, you are insulin resistant and you should not be eating sugar. So that's what you have to do. You have to cut out all refined sugars. You need to cut out brown sugar, powdered sugar, regular cane sugar, high fructose corn syrup, corn syrup solids, all those tricky little things they try to stick in all of your foods. Um, and as well as that, you need to cut out breads, white breads, processed breads, any of that. It needs to be gone from your diet, or it will continue to feed your disease. Sugar feeds disease. So basically, that's where I started. At first I cut out all sweets. I never was a pop drinker. I cut out juice, and I slowly started to lose weight. And then I cut out the bread, and she took me to a health market, and she took me and a group of people. Uh, some of them had like diabetes, and then I had PCOS, and we went to a health market with her, and she took us shopping and showed us about clean eating. You have to eat non-GMO verified products because the pesticides and chemicals in those products will deplete you of your vitamins, which will feed your disease even further. So I started eating a type of bread called Ezekiel, and it's actually the recipe from the Bible, and it's flourless and sugarless bread. And so I went to completely like not eating any flour, no sugar, and I was eating stevia and making my own sweetened foods and eating a lot of kefir probiotics and stuff, and I was doing great. I had lost a ton of weight, and most of my symptoms went away. I didn't have any cysts. My hirsutism lightened. I started getting my period, and it was great until I fell off the wagon, and then I gained like double back of what I had lost. And it was because I broke down and had sugar, and then I slowly would, break down, eat more and more sugar, and then all my cravings came back, all my symptoms, all my weight, like tenfold. So in the past couple months, I've been slowly doing it again. I cut out all sweets, and now I cut out all bread. I'm back to the Ezekiel bread. I'm eating organically and clean eating. None of that crap that's going to feed my disease anymore. And so far, I've lost 60 pounds. So I'm really happy with it, and I'm doing really good. And it's if you want to check, what the glycemic index is of your food, you can go on websites and type it in, and it'll tell you how much sugar it is, and what your options are. You should eat protein if you are eating like potatoes or other things that are high in sugar and carbs. And sometimes they say you're supposed to eat sweet potatoes instead of potatoes. There's lots of information on the internet about PCOS diets. It's the number one important thing. You'll talk to a lot of people with PCOS out there, and they just think, vitamins and exercise. And diet is the most important. You need to cut out the sugar, cut out the poison, and save yourself. Your body doesn't convert sugar properly, and it will turn it into fat. It will feed disease with it, and it needs to stop. Honestly, I don't think anybody should be eating sugar after everything that I found out about it. But PCOS, women, insulin resistant women, women with diabetes, absolutely not. And it may be one of the hardest things you could ever do, but it will save your life. You need to use other things if you want sweets. You can have stevia, but make sure it's not Truvia. You can use 100% honey, brown rice syrup, but you need to cut out the sugar, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna make it.